In the ancient heart of Africa, when the world was new and the animals still spoke a common tongue, there lived a lion. But this was not the lion we know today, the undisputed king of the savannah. No, this lion was timid, cautious, and often found himself hiding from the shadows of mightier beasts. He watched with wide, fearful eyes as the elephant, with its immense size and powerful tusks, commanded the respect of the forest. He would tremble when the rhinoceros, a walking fortress of muscle and horn, charged through the grasslands. He even cowered when the cunning leopard, with its silent paws and sharp claws, stalked the twilight. The lion, with his powerful build and impressive mane, felt like a fraud. He possessed the appearance of strength but lacked the heart of a warrior. One evening, as the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, the lion sat beneath a baobab tree, his head low with despair. "Why am I so afraid?" he sighed to the wind. "I have claws and teeth, a mighty roar trapped in my chest, yet my spirit is as small as a field mouse." Just then, an old, wise tortoise, who had seen more seasons than there were leaves on the baobab, slowly made his way to the lion. The tortoise had heard the lion's lament. "Young one," the tortoise said, his voice raspy with age, "your fear does not come from the strength of others, but from the doubt you hold within yourself." The lion looked at the small, shelled creature. "What would you know of fear, old one? You carry your home on your back. You can hide from the world whenever you choose." The tortoise chuckled, a dry, rattling sound. "My shell protects my body, but it cannot protect my spirit. True courage isn't about having a shield. It is about knowing what you are capable of, even when you are afraid. You see the elephant's size, but you do not see its fear of the smallest bee. You see the rhino's charge, but you do not see its poor eyesight that makes it charge at shadows. Every creature, no matter how great, has a weakness, a fear. But I have no great strength," the lion insisted. "Only this fear that consumes me." "Ah, but you are wrong," said the tortoise. "You have a voice, a roar that can shake the very mountains. But you have been using it to express your fear, not your power. Your roar is a gift from the Great Spirit. It is the sound of the thunder, the echo of the earth itself. It is meant to declare your presence, to state your claim, not to whisper your worries." The tortoise continued, "Tomorrow, when the sun rises, go to the highest rock. Do not look at the elephant or the rhino. Do not think of their might. Think only of who you are. Look within, find that spark the Great Spirit gave you, and let it out. Roar not because you are afraid, but because you are here. Announce your existence to the world." The lion was skeptical, but the tortoise's words planted a small seed of hope in his heart. He spent a restless night, the tortoise's wisdom echoing in his mind. Before the first light of dawn, he climbed to the top of Pride Rock, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. He looked out over the vast savannah. He saw the herds of elephants moving like gray mountains in the distance. He saw a rhino grazing peacefully. For a moment, the old fear crept back in. But then he remembered the tortoise's words. "Look within." He closed his eyes. He ignored the world outside and focused on the fire in his belly, the power coiled in his muscles, the great lungs that held the wind. He thought not of what he feared, but of who he was. He was a lion, a creature of sun and dust, of muscle and bone. He took a deep, shuddering breath, filling his lungs until they felt they would burst. And then he let it all out. It was not a cry of fear. It was a roar of pure, untamed power. The sound exploded from him, a deep, resonant thunder that rolled across the plains. It was louder than any sound the animals had ever heard. The ground itself seemed to tremble. The elephants stopped their march, their great ears flapping in alarm. The rhino lifted its head, confused and intimidated. The leopards paused in their hunt, their stealth broken by the terrifying announcement. Every animal, from the smallest mongoose to the tallest giraffe, froze and listened. They had never heard such a proclamation of absolute authority. The lion roared again, and this time, the sound was filled with newfound confidence. It was the sound of a king claiming his throne. He wasn't roaring at the other animals. He was roaring for himself, declaring his own strength to the universe. When he finally fell silent, the savannah was hushed. No bird chirped, no insect buzzed. There was only a profound, respectful silence. The animals looked towards Pride Rock, not with aggression, but with awe. They didn't see a timid creature anymore. They saw and heard a force of nature. From that day forward, the lion never feared another animal. He had discovered that his greatest weapon was not his claws or his teeth, but the belief in his own innate power. He walked with his head held high, his quiet confidence now more intimidating than any charge or snarl. The other animals gave him a wide berth, not because he hunted them, but because they respected the spirit he had finally unleashed. The lion had learned that true power doesn't mean being fearless, it means acting in spite of your fear. And so, the moral of our story is this: the greatest obstacle you will ever face is not the giant in front of you, but the doubt within you. True courage is not the absence of fear, but the discovery of something more important than fear, yourself. Find your roar, whatever it may be, and you will find your kingdom. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of African folklore. If you enjoyed this story, please show your support by hitting that like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing it with others who love a good tale. Until next time, walk with courage.